It's FE12 H3 ZPG Chapter 8. There's 4 main takeaways from the preparations here. First, the boss of this map is recruitable by Gordon, so we're bringing him as a Cavalier for the extra movement. Second, Katria is going to be promoted to join our force of Draconites instead of Wendell being a Draconite like he was last time, because he's going to be a Sage on this map. Navarre is an interesting alternative to Katria as a Draconite. He's got more strength, HP, skill, and defense, but slightly lower speed. But unfortunately, as a fresh Draconite, Navarre has a D rank in Lances, which means he's never going to use Silver Lances and probably won't ever use the Dragon Pike. So Katria is actually an easy choice between the two. Third, I need one of the snipers near the boss to roll either 41 HP or 8 defense. I end up getting both on this attempt, but the strat is the same as if I'd only got one of those two things. And then fourth, I am going to sell a small bullion. There, I just checked that archer, or that sniper. And then we're selling a small bullion at the armory, so because you can buy silver lances at the armory on the map here. This is a really interesting map to work on. We need to chase down a thief in the south half of the map for a star shard. Marth needs to visit the village to recruit a crappy unit. Gordon needs to get to the boss to recruit him, and we need to kill one of the generals to get an arm scroll. We need to buy the silver lance, and we need to recruit this armor knight here on the bridge with Sita. But the bottom left general north of the bridge is a new enemy that doesn't exist below hard 3. So if you recruit the armor knight on turn 1, Sita is going to be in the range of that general and pull all of the generals, and then there's just no hope of winning. So instead, we're going to pull the armor knight, Roger, who's just awful by the way, toward us where Sita is positioned. And then we're setting up the rest of our units, Ogma and Pala, to deal with the paladins that are going to run in at us. And then Kane bought the fresh new silver lance for us to replace Marcus that we lost last chapter. So here we pulled in Roger. And this miss isn't necessary, of course. And so here we're pulling in these paladins. The second one only has Pala available as a target. Now this third one has a Javelin, but because I gave Sita the Taurus and Cancer shards, her defense is high enough that the Javelin Paladin also went for Pala instead of hitting Sita. So Marth visits the village to recruit my least favorite class of all time. Aaron lands a big hit on this thief. And Sita is now going to recruit this horrible armor knight and also land a huge hit on this paladin with her wing spear. Reminding us why it's so important to promote Sita in these early Fire Emblem games. Sirius cleans up that paladin with bar tray. Shout out to that +1 strength I forged on that axe. It was a perfect kill. And for some reason I just couldn't remember what to do with Katria. Eventually I remembered. There we go. Then Pala and Ogma can finish these off. Ogma, of course, has the Libra Shard to lower the chance of Devil Sword recoil. Now we've cleared a path for Kane to come in and trade the shiny new Silver Lance to Sirius. You can see how elegant these first 2 turns really are. Everything just fit together so perfectly. I was so happy when it all came together. Now we need to get the Cancer Shard on Wendell here, because he's going to have a pretty scary experience in a couple turns. And we close out the turn with some free experience on Yumina. Now remember that Sita dodged an attack, so normally this heal would not have her at full HP. She'd be at 19, I think. You do have to be a little careful with your positioning, because these Cavaliers that just came in will run after Aaron instead of running towards your army if you don't have enough people like toward the south side. Now I need Fina moving toward the north end of the bridge, which is why Yumina moved up there first to cast Physic on Aaron, since he's having a tough time against that mage, even with the barrier buff on him. Yumina is healing Pala here. This doesn't do anything. Normally that would be the second heal that I put on Sita, and Pala just would finish the map at 3 HP. But because Sita dodged, I just needed someone else to heal. It doesn't really affect anything. Getting our Air Force in position to take out the snipers next turn. And like I was saying, you need some units to entice those Cavaliers to come up north instead of chasing after Aaron. So that's what Roger, Ogma, and Kane are up to down here. Aaron finally gets the Leo Shard. And this gives +2 strength, which sounds just dandy. And here you can see that that barrier I put on Aaron on turn 1 actually was necessary to keep him alive here, as well as the physic, obviously. Now these guys can just hold the bottleneck. Thanks to Aaron's 7 movement, he can just run away from this mage without a care in the world. Gordon drops a save for us. And I really wanted to minimize the crits in this chapter after having to use 5 in the previous chapter. But I really just had to include this one with Catria's Killer Lance. You can see how tough these snipers are here in a second. Pala and Sirius, with the Taurus and Gemini shards, are just barely able to take this guy down with their Silver Lances. And like I was saying earlier, if this sniper had rolled maximum stats, maximum HP, and defense, he actually would have survived this. So yeah, these snipers are pretty tough. I really couldn't avoid that crit, unfortunately. But it was just one. Just one on this whole chapter. Catria's in range of a general there, but she'll be fine. So Wendell's movement is pretty bad. So in order to rescue Marth near the gate next turn, Wendell's going to have to step into the fire here. It looks like he could go even closer, but that would have just had the general stand in his way on enemy phase. You'll see what I mean. So this spot's actually better. Gordon, on the other hand, was able to scoot right past all the generals and prevent Catria from wasting a Killer Lance use on enemy phase. See how that general would be blocking the way I need to go if I was one tile to the left. And of course, Wendell barely survived, and only survived thanks to the Cancer Shard. So you can see how obviously important it was to delay engaging these generals for as long as possible. And Aaron, of course, was able to just outrun that mage, like I was saying. Sita finally shows us why she has the Scorpio Shard, by taking a huge dent out of this general with double Wing Spear. As we've seen a few times now, we just need to block the prioritized tiles for rescue uses. So we're blocking off what will be down and right when Wendell uses the rescue staff on Marth here, to make sure that Marth comes into Wendell's left so that he's in range of the gate. Hala gets danced to go finish off the Arm Scroll General. And Gordon finally recruits the boss. Oh yeah, Gordon recruits the boss, and I get a little extra weapon experience on Catria with his Javelin Toss. I didn't need to do that, but whatever. So I actually really enjoyed working on this chapter. This is a clean 5-turn clear. It just has some fun differences compared to Don Don's Hard 2 run that made it a lot more interesting than I was expecting. So yeah, I actually really enjoyed this one. And with a brand new Silver Lance to replace Marcus, I think we're in pretty good shape. Thanks for watching.